Hi Sue, this is just a little refresh for you. There's the 7 Cottage garden threads, the beautiful pearl 8s that we had out as originally picked. So all of those are the ones that are in the original video for you. That's the ivory background linen for you. Every one of these is exactly the linen as showed to you in that kit number 1. This is all the dark ones down this side, some of the mustard teal ones, and that one there coming down the middle is our light ones. So this is the reverse with the cream in the background and the beautiful blues and things on the front, some tealies. Again, our strawberry thief. And I'm happy to say this fabric here is the one that is the charm that you really liked, that you sent me the photo of. So we now have one of those in your kit. So that was an advantage. That's the mustard one. So that's all of those fabrics as originally shown to you, plus the threads, plus the little ones on the cards that I was going to do. I've just got to put the medium one in the middle between those for you. The blue silk, the mid brown for the petal, and I think you'll agree that they all look really good. That's going to look lovely and rich, and all those colours going back a cook. Now in your note you said to add 10 to kit number 1, looking at possible orange, mustard, teal and plum, I think would think. So I've got a selection running down this side here, which when I put it with that whole collection there, I think it looks really good. These rich ones here are really drawing back to this, and these beautiful threads up here really nicely. So I'm going to run you through just with those ones there, because there is more than 10, but I'll show you what I've put there and then you can decide on your favorites. I like all of them and I think they all go well. I know I particularly like the richer ones, but sometimes you've got to have the light as well so that they're not all just going to jump out at you. So that's a really strong mustard and blue. Mustard, blue, and the it's a bordering between burnt orange and a pink, but it certainly goes good when you've got your strawberries here and your strawberries over there. And so again, it's those little bits. And remember, when you do your leaves, you're picking where you want the piece to come from. This one here, I think that's beautiful. So you know, they're really good dark ones which offset against your dark ones over here. Then there's a nice lighter reverse one there. I like that one because it has that same level up there, but it's a blue grey, blue green grey, and just different prints again with those little bit of mustards in it. This one's really unusual, beautiful leaves in that. So again, sits well with all of those. You've got your bits of mustards in all these sorts of ones, so you can see that it definitely belongs, and that will give you some really interesting ones over those leaves in the print. Now this one was one that combined a bit of the colours, so that's why I've put this one in. There's the mustard, and it's certainly not plum, but there is that pinky and grey and blue grey tones to that one, so you could get a couple of different looking petals off that one, and it would be fine in amongst there, because again, when you look at the strawberry thief here and his colours, you've got exactly the same colours there. If you look at this little birdie in the strawberry thief over here, you've got that little bit of colour there. So they're only little pieces, and they're just that little bit of lift that would happen if you chose that one. We've got this one, so it's more the swirls of the design. So again, with that one, they're just lighter ones to particularly go well with these sorts of ones over here. This one's a richer sort of tone, so the blues are a bit richer, the greys a bit richer, so I feel that they go over to these sort of tones over this side. So when you're looking at these, that's sort of a greyish purple, greyish mauve. Those sort of tones up there is where I think that goes back, and that it's got the mustard in it. And there really isn't a mustard with the white background here, so that one I thought was actually good for the print too. Not necessarily the prettiest, but I thought the colour was good across the print and played in with this one nicely. There's another, a little ditzy toned one, so it's got the dark blue and lemons. That one's a floral with the green and the mustard. So they all certainly go in with things that you've already got in your stash there. The greens in them do play well with the greens of the tones. I get that in the light properly, the greens in the tones there, so they would certainly go. This one I thought was really nice. It's quite vibrant, but it has everything almost in the one. Again, it's got the strawberry leaf picture, but it's not the same print as the others. But it has the teals and the greens and the burnt orange. The orange is not as bright as what it's showing up in your video here. And there's mustards, the mustard green in there too. So it goes particularly well with that blue-green one there, and the blue-greens of Strawberry Thief there, and that paisley one there. So again, that's the one that, again, when you look at the background colours of those, to have those little weeny bits put in, it's just little uplifting bits. And again, when you refer back over to your reds and things over there, it's just little weeny pops of colour. This one again had those colours, just not quite as vibrant. So was your plummy and your orange a lighter one, and blue and green. Then we've got that one there. If I had that one on the roll, I'd buy that one on the roll. It's got a nice mixture of colours for what we do use. And I can tell from that now I've actually got it upside down. But it's a very nice one, and would go with the florals of these embroideries as well. And again, see it opposite this one, those tones that are there. So I really liked that one. And then the last two were, there was a different coloured Strawberry Thief one, and he's got fresher blues, fresher greens, the oranges again, and that pinky tone. So again, if you look at him, he's down, the colours are down in this one that you really liked. The little bits of these colours are the same as all this sort of thing. So there's just little weeny pops of these colours that do show up throughout the fabric. So even the bits on the birds over here. So that's very nice. And the last one that's just fallen, here it is. So this one is the reverse with the cream background and the teal and the green and the orange. Now that's a lot flatter orange than what's showing there. It would be like if you think of a mandarin, imperial mandarin, something like that. It's a softer orange like that. So there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 options for you to choose between there. I really do like that one in it. I'm hoping you like that one, because that's going to be just as well as these really rich ones here. And then there's sort of the medium tone there, so I think that will play really well. If there's one that's more slightly odd bod, it could perhaps be that one. I know that's a different print, but the colours, look at it against that one, and then this one that you really do like. colours play really well. You can certainly take it down to one of those rather than the two if you wanted. Again, I like that one because of the dark, and then the dark in him, and then the dark in him. So that's just me. That's a prettier one, so if you wanted that out, I really like that one in it. I like that one in it because you've got four, you've gone from that one to that one to that one, and I thought, yeah, up at this blue level there's another one there, so that really covers the blue area as well. So if we were cutting it down, you can see again that those mustards are going to go nicely with your mustard threads up there too. So if we can just eliminate those few a bit, if you tell me from the bottom up or the top down, whichever way you like to go, just put on the cross on the one you don't want to keep, and I can take it out of the pile. That was the nice leafy one, and those ones there. So we can certainly do 10. There wasn't sunburnt orange on its own, and that certainly put the teals and greens and mustards in. I think that's picked it up really nice. So anyway, we do have the one that you really liked, so that's great. That's in, and all the threads, etc., as we talked about. So I can get that off to you with those extra ones in it as soon as you decide of those which ones you'd like to keep, and that's going to look really good. Very happy with that. Thank you. Whoops, I forgot to say, this, when I was looking at it and you talked about the binding, I would have liked to have gone with the options of these darkest ones. I always like my binding to be as dark as the darkest fabrics. I don't have that one on the roll, but I feel it would have been a bit too dark anyway, because it really would have made, that's quite dark against those sort of ones. What I do have on the roll is this one here, and it would actually be my choice for a little bit of binding, and it's right up. So if I just show a little bit of that against the edge, it's right up at that deep dark tone, and sort of offsets all of those. So that would be my choice for the little binding to go all the way around. And if I just show it over this side, again, just setting off, just trying to show it as the 1/4 inch value type thing, would just be a nice one of that. Now the other thing that is an option is if you end up with any of your little strips of fabric, so say you end up a little straight strip down there, some of the Liberty bindings combine their fabrics together, so they're leftover pieces together. So say this one and that one, little bit of that one, that sort of thing, and would have the majority of that, and then you just have this little pop of colour happening in it as it goes around. So that's a really nice thought too, something like these ones here. Now you're only dealing with 5-inch squares, so that doesn't leave a lot to be left over in the fabric, but it's certainly an option if you just want to put. The second option I had was this other, this is the Strawberry Thief one. So it's got the dark background here, but it sort of has 3 layers of background. So if I hold that up quite high, you can see the dark level, the greenier level, and then that sort of bluey mauve level. So again, it could run around the edge there. If I just put up, there it is up there, as opposed to that dark one there. If I just bring that over a little bit. Personally, I think the dark of this will be better, but if I just show that 1/4 inch of both of them, they do show up well. Just bearing in mind that this might show up with that 1/4 inch of dark there, but it might also be in at these lighter levels here, which is why I think myself personally that this darker one might be the best way to go, because if we show just 1/4 of an inch of that on the edge, and it really does hold the edge of these fabrics quite well. So you can let me know if that's the one you would like to go with for binding on that quilt. I also had some thoughts for you on these that are in the amount of embroideries in these. This is the one you're looking at doing as the gift. What you could do, instead of having, what it does is sort of make up in an L shape, if you look at that. What you could do is make more of the fabric ones and just intersperse one embroidery, one embroidery, one embroidery, rather than the 3. So you would be cutting down your embroidery time for the one that's intended as a gift, and it would still look just as beautiful because you've got all of those gorgeous fabrics to actually make the base of the quilt. So that is something that certainly be done to still have your embroideries, but we could cut it down by almost a third or a half sort of thing, just intersperse them between it rather than 3 together like that every time they're in together. And you know, there's variety in all your backgrounds, so that would still make it look really nice. That's just food for thought on an option to cut down your time but still make it look really good, and to give it away as a gift is wow, very lucky person. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the packets of the papers and the template in. That was what I wrote to you about. That's going to be my little apology present, and I'm sorry. That will speed up your fabric on your papers. You still do them via the needle turn stitch to get them on the background, but you don't have to physically turn each applique petal itself. So doing that by the glue stick method and using the papers will speed up the process for this one as well. So that's 2 scenarios we can come up with to make this happen quicker for the one that's intended as a gift. Just food for thought. Thanks, Sue. Okay, it's me again, and I've just come back with another thought regarding your possible binding. And one is to actually go with, right beside it was the navy linen that was going to be the background for the other one. So that would meet against your ivory there. And that would be the navy linen meeting on the ivory background. And that navy is certainly strong to hold the edge of each one of those. So it's definitely got the colour. If I just show that, sorry, I didn't mean to have that in the road. So that would be your palette there, and that bit of navy down this side could be the binding. So there's the navy linen, there's the dark Liberty that was in the pattern, and I've also just come back over with 2 reproduction fabrics, and I actually like this one on the top. And what this is it's actually a bit darker than what it's showing there. It's sort of showing a royal blue there, but it's a very deep navy blue. Let's see if I can, yeah, it's more like what's showing in the shadow down here. And it's got a little reproduction crisscross on it with a caramel and a tan. Now, when you look at the mustardy colours over there, I quite like the idea that you could have a little weeny bit of that, which would bring that mustard and navy all the way around the edge. So again, I'll just put this over here for a minute, and it would meet up against, so I just want to show it in the proportion of just a little bit how it would show against your ivory there. And it's holding dark because the navy's in the background, so it could quite be, it looks really good when these ones meet it. So that's one of the options, remembering that you only see this edge piece here, and it would certainly hold the edge of the quilt. This was another one. Now that I'm getting it over here, I don't think the background's as dark as what it could be. So This is a reproduction that's black and blue, and that grey that's showing in the background is not as light as grey as that. It is a darker mid-grey. So unfortunately that's one of the down in that shadow bit. There we go. In this shadow half here, that's a little bit closer to what it is. But when you're filming at night time and the lights are on, it definitely does distort it. But again, that would put, that's nice too, that would put a little bit of, let me just put up that side and show a little weeny bit. I like it. I just would prefer it a bit darker in the background myself. That's just me. Again, if you want to stay with Liberty, that does have the dark background, but it also has a lot of cream. So that's decision on that one. Or when we come over here, we've got this one here, which you'd only be seeing at that level. I actually, if I'm being honest, I like that one, and I also like the navy, just the plain navy, offsetting against all of these versions of navies and blues and greens and creams. So that one for a little bit of colour in it, that one for the plain. That's your Liberty and another reproduction. So you can let me know between those four choices. There's two I like more than the other, but again, none of them are wrong. So let me know what your thoughts are there.